All right, what's up, everybody? We're back with another edition of Everyday Hoops. Hope you guys are having a good one. Today, we're going to be recapping last night's playoff basketball. Had some big game four last night. Talk about them all here in today's video. Thank you guys for the views, other videos in the shorts recently. I really appreciate it. If you do like the content around here, consider subscribing, like, turn notifications, do all stuff like that. I'd really appreciate it. Really upset a lot. Join the membership. If you want to learn more about the membership, there's a video on my channel explaining all of it. You can go back and watch that. Links to my Twitter, TikTok, stuff like that in the description down below. And yeah, don't waste any more of your time. Let's get right into it. So the first game we had was Celtics Cavaliers game 4. The Celtics come out, they beat the Cavs 109-102 and take a 3-1 series lead back to Boston. For the Cavaliers, of course, the big headline, no Donovan Mitchell announced before the game due to a calf injury. But the Cavaliers came out and gave it everything they had. So you got to give a lot of respect and credit to the Cleveland Cavaliers. They came out and really they could have just got destroyed in this game. They should have probably got destroyed in this game, but they hung in there to the very end. They really had a good chance to win this game. Honestly, they had a real chance to win this game. Especially that second quarter, they went on a big run. They had a bunch of threes in the first half, and they got off to a good start in the third quarter. Took a lead at one point in the third quarter, but their offense kind of just ran out of time. Like it ran out of juice a little bit in the second half. The three wasn't really falling as well, and then they had a couple big possessions that they missed on, and the Celtics ended up winning this game, take a 3-1 series lead. Jason Tatum, another 30-point game, 30, 11, and 5 on 11 for 25 shooting. Back-to-back 30-point games after not having one through the first 7 games of the playoffs. But yeah, Tatum was a fact. He came out early. He had 16 points in the first quarter, 23 in the first half. He also had 8 points in the fourth quarter that really sealed the game. He came out with the aggressiveness early, kind of trying to set the tone for Boston in a way, just being like, all right, like let's not play around our food. Jaylen Brown also another great game, 27 and 8 on 9 for 15 shooting, hit a couple 3-pointers as well in this game. Jrue Holiday was big in this game. Well, I feel like Jrue Holiday just hit so many big 3-pointers. Like when the Cavs are kind of on a roll, the Celtics offense was kind of getting staggered. Jrue Holiday would just hit a big 3-pointer, make a big play to give the Celtics a little push. He had 16, 7, and 5, 3 steals. He had 4 3-pointers in this game. And then Payne Pritchard also 11 points. He had 3 threes off the bench as well. Great stuff from him. But yeah, the Cavaliers gave it all. I mean, another thing for Boston, they're rebounding. The rebounding in the last 2 games have been huge. They have rebounded Cleveland 48-32 in this game. They had 10 offensive rebounds. Luke Cornett was big in his 19 minutes. He had 9 points, 6 rebounds, 3 offensive rebounds, 4 for 5 from the field. I think he had some really good minutes in this game as well. And despite having not great shooting performances from Derek White and Al Horford, they combined to shoot 1 for 8 from 3. And they only shot 37% from 3 as a team, only hit 12. Cavs outshot them from 3 in terms of makes, but the Cavs also had 16 more attempts than Boston, which is crazy. That doesn't happen that often. But also the free throw line as well. Free throw line was a big. The Celtics were 21 for 24 from the free throw line. The Cavs were 5 for 7. So that huge free throw disparity. The Celtics just being more aggressive. Finally, Jason Tatum kind of learning, hey, I can get to the paint. Jaylen Brown also saying, hey, I can get to the paint. And they combined for 18 free throw attempts. So, that's funny that they realized that. But for Cleveland, again, they gave it everything they had. Darius Garland, after having a bad start to the game, he really kept them in there in the second half. He had 30 points, 7 assists, 12 for 27 from the field. He was great in this game. Evan Mobley, 19 and 9. Karis LeVert had 19 points in this game. Max Strus, 5 threes. He had 15, 7, and 7. I think when the Cleveland the dagger in this game was, I forgot how much time was left, but Max Strus took a 3 like deep on Jrue Holiday with 10 on the shot clock that he didn't need to take when they had Evan Mobley in the paint, like posting up Derek White, and he was being aggressive at that point. He had a nice dunk on when he spun around Jrue Holiday earlier in the possession or earlier in the game, early in the fourth quarter. And Max Strus took that 3, and then he fouled on the other end and fouled out. That was the point where I was like, yep, this game's over. Max Strus just didn't really need to do that. The bench tried a little bit. Dean Wade hit a 3-pointer. Sam Merrill hit 2 threes when he came into the game. That were big. George Niang hit a 3 in the second quarter. But yeah, ultimately they shot just 31% from 3, 15 for 48. Only took 7 free throws in this game. Got out rebounded. Yeah, just really tough. They didn't have a lot of turnovers in this game either, though. They only had 7 turnovers compared to Boston's 14. So they were forcing turnovers and stuff. They just needed a tiny, like maybe 1 or 2 more minutes of just an offensive punch. Because in the fourth quarter, they shot 3 for 13 from 3. And in the second half, they were 4 for 23 from 3-point range, 17%. So yeah, that's just tough to win a game like that, even though in the first half they shot 11 for 25, 44% from 3. They tried to keep the 3-point magic going in the second half, and it didn't really, come out and work in their favor. Boston comes out, they handle business, and now we go back to a game 5 in Boston, where I assume the Celtics are going to beat them at home. Even though Cleveland did win game 2, who knows about Donovan Mitchell's status, if he does play game 5 or not. And if he does, then I don't really know. Even if he does play, I don't really know. But I expect Boston to come out in game 5 and kind of just, they should come out in game 5 and just put this team away really easily, but who knows? But shout out to the Cavaliers for giving it everything they had. But Boston just had too much at the end of the day. And then we had Thunder Mavericks game 4 in Dallas. The Thunder come out and somehow steal this one in Dallas 100-96. This was a really interesting game for me. Even after the game, I was still kind of like, dang, that happened? I love the energy and the aggressiveness Dallas came out with. Dallas had a good lead in the first quarter, 30-23. They led by 11 at halftime, and they were just getting out. OKC was getting outplayed. Dallas shot 43% from three. They had 22 rebounds to 17 for OKC. They had 15 assists to 7 assists. I feel like they had 9 blocks in the first half of this game. Luka had 12. PJ Washington hit a couple of 3-pointers. I feel like everybody scored in the first half for Dallas. It just felt like OKC was getting outplayed. And OKC shot 1 for 11 from three in the first half. Shea 12 points, J-Dub 2 for 7. Lou Dort and Josh Giddey combined to shoot 3 for 15 from the field and 1 for 7 from three. Like Dallas was kind of flipping OKC's kind of defensive scheme on them. I felt like feels like for OKC, I said in a couple games, it was like OKC, their defense is basically like, as long as Luka and Kyrie aren't shooting the ball, we're fine. PJ Washington can shoot his shots. Derrick Jones can take his shots. As long as those two are not shooting the ball, we're okay. And Dallas, I feel like kind of flipped out on OKC in this game. They're kind of like, all right, you know what? As long as Shea or J Dub are not shooting the ball, we're fine. Lou Dort, you can take as many threes as you want. Josh Giddey, go ahead. Aaron Wiggins, go ahead. Like everybody but those two can shoot because they were leaving the corners. Like Lou Dort and Josh Giddey and Aaron Wiggins all, and even Isaiah Joe, all had so many, like out of all the shots they take, I'm sure like 80-90% of all those guys combined shots were open. Like Dallas was just letting those guys shoot the ball. And in the first half, it was working, But then we get to the third quarter, and it became kind of a sloppy game. Like Dallas shot 25%. They were 5 for 20 from the field in the third quarter. Luka didn't score. Kyrie only had 3 points. It really helped by PJ Washington, who had 9 points, hit a couple of threes in that quarter. But yeah, it was a bad quarter. Or I said hit 2 threes, had 9 points in that quarter. They also missed a lot of free throws in the third quarter and for the entirety of the game. And OKC kind of just like they didn't shoot that much better. They only shot 33%. They were 2 for 8 from three. Shea had 12 points in that quarter though. It started to heat up, and it became kind of a game. OKC kind of held in there, came back, and then the fourth quarter happened. OKC goes on a big run in the fourth quarter. They outscored Dallas 35-27 in the fourth. Shea does his thing. J-Dub, even though he was kind of, not great all game, had a big dunk that maybe could have been a double-double. Who knows? Lou Dort hit a big three-pointer in this quarter as well. And then for Dallas, free throws. Free throws. Luka had an opportunity to tie the game up. When he got to the free throw line, he missed the free throw, made the second, and then, yeah, it was a free throw game. Got to make your free throws, and OKC comes out and win this game. I was really impressed with OKC in this game, though. Really impressed. It just felt like all the signs were pointing to a Dallas victory. Dallas came out with energy and aggression. OKC was having a bad shooting night. One of your star players, Jalen Williams, having a bad game. Dallas having the role player, PJ Washington, Tim Hardaway Jr., like Dante Exum, all hitting shots. And it just felt like everything was going Dallas's way. They had the momentum. And at halftime, it just felt like everything was going Dallas' way. And yet OKC, despite being a very young team, their first time ever being in a position like this, you're down 2-1 on the road, potentially go down 3-1 on the brink of elimination. They stayed calm. They stayed poised. They just kept playing the game. And eventually, Dallas' shots started to miss, and OKC shots started to fall. They're playing more aggressive. They're rebounding. They started to, really lock in on the rebounding. I mean, both teams ended up with the same amount of offensive rebounds. Dallas only had 2 more rebounds than OKC in this game. OKC ended up getting 9 blocks to Dallas's 13. And they just stayed poised. And when the fourth quarter came, they got confident. Some guys, Lou Dort hit that big three-pointer. Casey Wallace hit a big three-pointer also in the fourth quarter. Shea was hitting his shots. J-Dub started to get it going. And eventually they ended up getting the win. Because, OKC only shot 38% from the field in this game. 7 for 27 for three. and they still win. They got rebounded, not by a lot. They got 13 blocks on them. And it was the free throws. OKC was 23 for 24 from the free throw line. Dallas, 12 for 23, 52%. Everybody missed a free throw for that. Luka missed 2 free throws. PJ Washington missed 2 free throws. Kyrie missed a free throw. Derrick Jones missed 2 free throws. Gafford missed 2 free throws. Derek Lively missed 2 free throws. Everybody that played for Dallas, everyone that shot a free throw missed a free throw. 52% from the free throw line is just not going to cut it in a playoff game, especially this close. Like that's not gonna win you games. And Dallas 12 for 35 from 3. They kind of cooled down from 3. The only guy that was really hot from 3 for Dallas was PJ Washington. PJ Washington was on fire in this game. But after that, yeah. And also Dallas also had 13 turnovers. OKC only had 7 in this game. Just a very impressive win for a young OKC team. And now it's 2-2. Now it's another best of 3 with OKC having home court advantage. That's going to be very interesting. Shea, 34, 8 and 5, 2 steals, 2 blocks, 14 for 27 on the field. He had 22, 5 and 5 in the second half. Just amazing stuff. Chet Holmgren, 18 and 9. He had 4 blocks. 17 for Lou Dort, 8 rebounds, 14, 9 and 6 with 4 steals for Jado, 5 for 19 from the field. He had 7 of his 14 in the fourth quarter. That's big. And then for Dallas, Luka, another bad shooting night. 6 for 20, 2 for 9 from 3. He did have 18, 12, and 10. But another bad shooting night. Kyrie, another single-digit game, 4 for 11, 9 points. He did have 9 assists, but yeah, PJ Washington had another good game, 21 and 12. He had 5 3-pointers. Derrick Jones had 17 points and 4 blocks in this game. Daniel Gafford had 10 points, 3 blocks. Derek Lively had 4 blocks off the bench. Tim Hardaway gave you a couple threes. Josh Green gave you a 3. Dante Exum gave you a 3. Really, I think the start. Luka and Kyrie have to be better. I think Kyrie Irving has to be better in this game, in this series. Kyrie has not had an amazing series stats wise so far in this series. He's averaging just 15 points per game with 7.5 assists. PJ Washington is almost a leading scorer in here. PJ Washington's averaging almost 22. Luka's averaging 22. Kyrie only averaging 15 points per game. I think Kyrie needs to have one of these games. Whether it's game 5, game 6, Kyrie's going to have to pop off and have a big 25, 30 something point game eventually. Because I understand Kyrie Irving's kind of molded his game now with this team, especially with PJ Washington stepping up and stuff, into being more of doing all the little things like defending, giving all the energy. He's finding his teammates, which you could keep doing that. I love that. But Kyrie at one point is going to have to say, you know what? I'm Kyrie Irving. And he's going to have a big game. Because honestly, at this point, you can't really. PJ Washington's done it 3 games in a row. He's had 23 games in a row. But I don't think you can rely on PJ Washington hitting 6 threes and scoring 25 points in every game for the rest of the series. I don't think you can rely on OKC shooting 38% from the field and 26% from 3 for the next few games. You can't rely on Luka having a 40-something point game, even though he can. He just hasn't been that, especially with the injuries and with Lou Dort guarding him. It's just really, really tough. You can't expect Tim Hardaway Jr. to have another game like he did in game 2 or game 3. We had 17 points off the bench. Like, I don't think you can really rely on that if you're Dallas. You take it, obviously, and you hope for it. But at the end of the day, realistically, it's not something you can rely on. And I think Kyrie Irving is the key. Kyrie Irving needs to pop off and have one of those, I'm Kyrie Irving, don't forget about me type of games in one of the next 2. Preferably game 5, so, for them at least, so they can win. But I think Kyrie Irving needs to pop off and have a big 20-something, 30-point game at one point. But yeah, surprise again, very impressive win for OKC. Steal this one from Dallas. I feel like Dallas just had this in the bag, and OKC just kind of stuck in there and then attacked and got the win. And now it's a 2-2 series. We got 3 2-2 series right now. So we got a couple huge game 5s tonight. I'm gonna be glued to my television for, especially Minnesota, Denver, but even New York, Indiana's gonna be interesting. But no OG again. We'll see what happens there. And then we have this 2-2 series. It's gonna be very interesting. So we'll see what happens. But yeah, it's going to be it for today. Hope you guys enjoyed. Once again, if you enjoyed the content around here, consider subscribing, like, turn notifications, also like that. I'd really appreciate it. It really helps out a lot. And yeah, I'll see you guys tomorrow.